To be on the line. Norman Cousin, ladies and gentlemen, may be said to have brought to the attention of the world that the right positive attitude can go a long way to cure an illness.
It's very important in dealing with illness not to deny the fact that there is illness, but always defy the verdict that deals with it, and to deal with it with a blazing determination, because that blazing determination can actually help to mobilize our own forces, can help to enhance our own immune systems in dealing with serious threats.
Louis, why do you go to a hockey game?
I love hockey. I enjoy stimulating my immune system through physical activity, and I'm very physical at the game. I wish I was a hockey star, but I admire Wayne Gretzky.
And you jump up and down?
I get excited. I scream and yell. I stimulate my thymus gland by screaming and yelling.
Yeah. Now, what Cousin just said, is that a message for you?
Well, it's a message that I've learned the hard way. I had to get diagnosed with AIDS to learn that message, so for anybody's information, you don't need to get sick to get well. You just need to just get well.
You were diagnosed with AIDS when?
Officially at UCLA in May of 1983. I'm one of the longest people living today with AIDS, but I have struggled with sometimes. Most of my life has been pretty positive, supportive, and healing.
Since 1983, we're now 1989. Generally, the people who have Kaposi sarcoma and the pneumonia, it's 8 to 2 years, I'm told. 8 months to 2 years.
I was told I was going to live 3 to 6 months in 1983.
What?
Did you believe him?
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks, I think I did right originally, but then I said, well, I have a great family support system. I struggled through some techniques at the very beginning, and I was willing to go through my own personal battle of life.
Now, for the first 7 months, you took a drug called Interform?
Alpha interferon out of UCLA.
And after 7 months, you abandoned that totally?
Well, it wasn't really a choice of mine. I was told I was going to be taken off the drug, because according to the physicians at UCLA, it was not working for me.
And have you been on any form of drug since then?
I've been on the AZT at certain times in my life the past few years. I have gone back on interferon sometimes during my life the past few years. I am today not on AZT, and I'm not on alpha interferon today.
What do you think accounts for your longevity?
I've got my own personal recipe.
What is it?
For me, it's meditation, relaxation, healing imagery, a good diet, nutrition, working out, water skiing, snow skiing. I have my own garden that I grow my own vegetables, corn, tomatoes, broccoli. I have a beautiful chow dog. I've got a partner of 4 years. I have a great family, and I believe in prayer.
When you pray, what do you say?
Is that easy enough?
When you pray, what do you pray?
I pray to myself, I pray to God, I pray to Jesus.
What do you ask?
What do I ask? At certain different times in my life, in 1983, I asked for forgiveness for what I would consider my past history of indulging into certain drugs, a lot of self-hatred activities. I really believe a lot of my issues had to do with the family, the father relationship, a lot of self-hatred, and I had to learn the hard way to learn to love myself. I mean, how many people here can look in the mirror and say to themselves, and really truly mean it, I love you, I love myself? A lot of people look in the mirror and say, I'm fat, I'm old, I'm wrinkly, I got no hair. I used to have a lot of hair, but interferon really took a lot of it away.
Yes. Louis fits the pattern very much of our study of long survivors with AIDS. We studied people who had outlived all expectations, and although I just met him a few hours ago, from what little I've heard, he very much fits the pattern of people who've done extremely well with this disease, and also with other illnesses as well. I'm tempted to ask him a couple of questions I didn't ask him to see if he fits the pattern.
Clinically?
And maybe you could...
No, ask the clinical questions. We can help you. We can help you.
I didn't ask him before on purpose. He may not fit, then I'll be in trouble. I'll give you 3 questions. Tell me the last time you got angry.
The last time I got angry was probably last night, because I was at the Vancouver Canucks game and they won.
All right.
Tell me the last time you asked someone for a favor.
The last time I asked him, probably about a week ago, I asked my mom to go pick up a prescription for me.
Can you tell me, give me an example of saying no to someone who asked for a favor that you didn't feel like doing?
Probably with my partner who asked me to go downstairs and get some water.
Ray, he fits perfectly. Now, I'll explain
Why do you say that?
I'll explain that.
Yeah.
I'll explain that. We actually found that last question, the ability to say no
Yeah.
to an unwanted favor, was the highest predictor of more than any psychological test that we had done, and more than actually some blood tests and immune tests for a better immune pattern, and also we're finding these for a prediction of survival. These factors seem to be holding up as well. Now, what he did was he was in touch with and able to express anger. People who do not do well with illness, and I had originally shown this with patients with rheumatoid arthritis, they would say, well, maybe a month or two ago I got a little annoyed, but then I felt bad about it, but all right, okay. And even the time, it was a recent event, and he was in touch with it, and he knew it. He doesn't hesitate to reach out to others and help his own needs be met. And he can ask for a favor without feeling guilty about it. And on the other hand, he can say no when he needs to take care of himself and do what's right for him, and not just feel duty-bound, obligated, guilt-ridden, and can thus be assertive and tuned into his own needs. These are all factors that seem to be highly prognostic of doing well with illness.
You know, in a sense, the doctors and the media empowered me in 1983 because all I was hearing about that age was of death sentence, 100% fatal. And I decided to empower myself and talk to myself and see myself getting stronger and well. And I ignored the media.
But you still have AIDS.
I still have AIDS, but I'm still living, surviving, and thriving with AIDS. And I'm very happy. It's the quality of life, not the quantity.
And
my
so it doesn't
quality
really
is great.
matter that one day something is going to happen and you won't have enough T cells. And
Everybody dies. I have 10 T cells right now, but I'm not a T cell. I'm Louis.
yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Maura White.
And who tells you he's going to die soon? Maybe he's going to bury me?
He probably will. And I'll give you another example of this.
He accepts the fact of his illness,
Yeah.
but he refuses to accept the illness as a death sentence, or at least an imminent one. And he has things he wants to do with his life. And he's going on and getting as much out of life as he possibly can. He has an excellent quality of life.
But there's another point here.
Yeah?
I refuse to let dogmas of doctors or people determine my life. And I would like you to refuse to let your own dogmas determine your life. And so decide that what you want to do is to be vital, free, to breathe well, to relax, to be in touch with yourself. And that's what's going to make your longevity a great probability.
I'm going to take a break.